Hungarian spelling is simple. Or is it? There are some things that are hard when learning Hungarian, and some things that are not. Hungarian has a very large vocabulary, and if you're an English speaker, you'll find very few cognates. Here's a selection of some of the most 625 frequent words in English and Hungarian. None of those you'll be able to guess. Hungarian word order. Hungarian word order is different from that of English. It's flexible, but not free. The word order modifies the meaning, and some word order is actually rarely correct. The word order is flexible because Hungarian words are inflected to show their function in the sentence. There are some 20 noun cases, and a verb can have up to 80 forms. But fortunately, there's only 9 very irregular verbs. But you're told the spelling is phonetic, a great bonus when you consider English spelling or even French. This is because, unlike English, Hungarian spelling was formalised quite late. There were still some discussions in the late 18th century, but modern spelling was pretty much set in 1832, which gives the language not much time for significant changes. The Hungarian alphabet contains 44 letters, betű. Some of these are digraphs, that is made up of 2 symbols, but still count as a single letter in Hungarian. They get their own page on the dictionary. There's one trigraph, 3 symbols to make up 1 letter, but it appears very rarely and usually in foreign words. There are 14 vowels, each with their own distinct sound, if you ignore dialects, so we're just talking about standard Hungarian. These are marked with diacritics, that's the dots and dashes above the letter. So once you learn what sound each letter makes, you can pronounce any Hungarian word, and hearing it, you know how to spell it. Bor, show, szél, piac. Piac is a hard one. The first time I saw that written down, I had to think twice. For multi-syllable words, you normally split it up so each syllable ends in a vowel. With 2 consonants together, you normally end 1 syllable with 1 consonant and start the next with the other. Hungarian doesn't like consonant clusters. Stress always goes on the first syllable. Then we get this, the name of a small town in eastern Hungary. Hajdú-Hódház. Only it's not. I've known this word all my life, and it's Hajdú-Hódház. Hajdú-Hódház. That D is pronounced as a T. Is this a dialect problem, or was it a hangover from historical naming? Neither. It turns out to be an example of consonant assimilation. That is, when 2 consonants follow each other, sometimes the sound of one changes, usually the first one. And it happens in quite a few situations. So is the Hungarian ease of spelling a myth? Remember how I said there were discussions about spelling up to the start of the 19th century? One of the issues was whether Hungarian spelling would follow etymology or phonetics. In most cases, etymology won. This means when you read a word, it's clear what it means, it's how it's put together. Remember, we have lots of suffixes, prefixes, and affixes in Hungarian, and if we change the spelling all the time, we wouldn't quite know what that root was. This means you need a few more rules to know how to say it. Fortunately, these are regular and predictable. The Hajdú-Hódház example is due to an unvoiced consonant following a voiced consonant. What does it mean, voiced or unvoiced? If you put your fingers on your larynx and say d and t, with the d you'll feel a vibration. With t you won't. There are 9 pairs of voiced and unvoiced consonants in Hungarian, plus a voiceless H. The first consonant is the one that changes. That is, when a voiced consonant is before an unvoiced consonant, it becomes unvoiced. But if an unvoiced consonant is before a voiced consonant, except for V, it becomes voiced. Let's see what this means in practice. I'll use a native speaker for this so as not to confuse you with my accent. We'll start with the same sound change I spotted in haruhotas.
Hot, hot.
This devoicing before an H is quite common, as the hot het affix implies permission to a verb, so you'll see it quite often. Let's run through the rest.
Zseppénz, zseppénz.
Dobtam, dobtam.
Szívtam, szívtam.
Fogtam, fogtam. Strandkalap, strandkalap.
Zöldség, zöldség.
Of course, the opposite also happens. Remember, vocal assimilation is regressive, so it's controlled by the second syllable.
Étből, étből. Ácsból, ácsból.
Hungarian has palatal consonants, that is where the tongue is up against the roof of the mouth. These are j, y, ny, j, and y's twin, j, that is a j. These two can alter the sound of the consonant before it. A t, d, or n before a j becomes a j, j, or ny.
Barátja, barátja.
Unja, unja.
And if the preceding letter is a j, j, or ny, it lengthens if it's before a j.
Nagyja, nagyja. Atya, atya.
Hányja, hányja.
This can also happen if the following letter is another palatal consonant.
Hadgyakorlat, hadgyakorlat.
Nemzetgyűlés, nemzetgyűlés.
Átnyúlik, átnyúlik.
With sibilants, that's a sh, s, s. If there are two different sibilants following each other, they take on the pronunciation of a long version of the second.
Egészség, egészség.
This, like all assimilation, can take place across word boundaries.
Kis szem, kis szem.
Szemetes zsák, szemetes zsák.
Vadászsákmány, vadászsákmány.
One more. T, ge, ye, before a sh becomes a longish ch, and before a s becomes a longish t.
Segítség, segítség.
Fáradtság, fáradtság.
Hegycsúcs, hegycsúcs.
I'm going to stop now, but there are more of these. So, is Hungarian spelling simple? Yes, from the point of view of understanding meaning, but less so in terms of knowing how to pronounce a word or phrase, or understanding how to spell a word if you've only heard it, which you need to do when you go to look up a word in a dictionary. However, the changes need to follow defined rules, all of which tend to make the word easier to pronounce. Maybe half a myth. I hope this video was useful and moves you along your path of learning Hungarian. If it does, please leave a like or even a comment, and a subscribe will let you know when a new video comes out. Until then, see ya.